Welcome to episode number 6 of Damaron's Kitchen. Nice to see you all, fuzzies. Hope you're doing well today. For this episode, we are going to do chicken noodle soup. It's one of my favorites. Besides beef stew, I do enjoy stews, soups, and chilies. Well, this is one of my favorite soups to make and have. And hopefully, with this recipe being taught to you, you could enjoy it at home too. All right, let's get to the ingredients.
The ingredients for today's chicken noodle soup, you're going to need noodles. You can do wide egg or you can do extra large noodles, or I guess whatever noodles you tend to like in your soups. You'll need 1 large onion. In this case, I need 2 small onions because I don't have enough. I'm making a larger pot of chicken noodle soup, but typically you'd only need 3 to 5 carrots. Same thing for your celery stalks. You'll only want about 3 to 5. I use chicken thighs with the skin on. I'm going to boil this to kind of get a base broth, and then I will pull the chicken out of the pot and deskin it and debone it, and then throw the meat back in the pot once the chicken is cooked. You will need chicken broth and chicken bouillon, about 3 to 5 cubes of chicken bouillon, depending on how much water you use, and then salt and pepper to taste. We're cracking out the 12-quart pot today. I'm making a lot of soup because I'm going to be delivering some to my mother and grandmother and having a lot for myself.
We've added our chicken thighs to the pot, and we're going to add water enough to cover it so that we can actually cook and boil this meat. You're going to want about 2 to 3 pounds when you do your chicken. Okay, I've now added enough water for the chicken to cook in. We're going to go ahead and start up our stove. Okay, fire's on. For this one, we want to get it to a medium heat. Not too far past medium. We could put it right at medium, actually. Then we'll apply our lid. And let that start cooking. Now, while these chicken thighs are cooking, we can start cutting up our vegetables. You're going to want to peel your carrots and then chop them, and then wash and chop your celery and chop your onion. Once you've got all that set up, all you need to do is wait for the chicken to finish cooking, and then you can add the rest of your vegetables and then cook those. And then the last ingredient that you're going to add is your noodles. And that's about the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking the soup. Once the noodles are done, it's ready to eat. Yum, yum, yum. Ah. All right. So we're going to prep our vegetables so that we can have them ready for our soup. First things first, you're going to want to wash your carrots and then peel them. It doesn't require a lot. You just have to rinse them off. Make sure they're not dirty. And then you're going to take the outside skin off anyway. And I just go around the whole thing until I have it completely peeled. Get the tip off. And then start peeling the upper half. Try to get this so you can see what I'm doing here. And then you want to get the head off. There, nice and peeled. I've got 5 more carrots to do, and once I have those peeled, I will proceed to cleaning and deflowering my celery stalks. You want to nip the ends off, and then chop this up too. Also, don't forget, wash your paws. Wash them all the time. You want to be safe. Okay, next step. Okay, now we're going to cut up our vegetables so that we can prep them for our soup. I don't necessarily need to show you this. Usually everybody has their own technique. I'm not very good with knives. I'm not a professional, but I've done it long enough that I don't cut myself. So, basically you're just going to chop your carrots as such. Now, I'm not quick at this. Not a professional chef. usually I pre-prep the vegetables so that I don't have to show you guys what I'm doing on the side. But you'll want your carrots to be just like that. I'll do a celery too to demonstrate that. First, you're going to knock the top off and do your base as well. And then you chop it just like the same. Only this way I can pull the knife instead of doing a chop motion. Celery always has such a unique smell to it, and I think it has a pretty unique taste. It's a very healthy vegetable to eat. It actually causes you to burn calories to eat it over most other foods that you can eat. So when you're eating celery, it's actually making you use fat to digest it versus other things. So that's just a little interesting tidbit about celery, but we're going to be cooking it, so it'll be a little softer to eat. So that's chopping your vegetables.
There's everything nice and prepared to be added to the soup once it's all at a rolling boil. And the chicken is all cooked, of course.
I am a big floof, you goof. What are you going to do about it?
All right, so our chicken thighs are pretty well cooked. Something else I did before I'm going to remove these is I skimmed the surface to get any of the excess gristle off the broth or stock here. Now I'm going to pull the thighs out and give them a minute to cool on a platter. Once they've cooled thoroughly, then I will deskin them and debone them and throw the meat back in the pot.
Okay, so now we've pulled all of the chicken out of the pot. There is a lot of chicken. I'm making a very big pot of soup. Here is what the stock looks like. From this point, you're going to add your broth to the stock to add a little bit more flavor to it. You will also add your bouillon cubes, and I would add my veggies too while I wait for the chicken to cool. And I'm having a hard time doing this with my claws on, so I'm going to have to take a cut here. Oh, still recording. Whoops.
Got our vegetables. I'm going to add that to the broth before I start to pick the chicken. I've already de-skinned it, but it's too hot to pull the meat right now. So we're adding the vegetables to the broth. Boom, there it is. And this will allow those veggies to kind of soften up a bit while I get the chicken ready. All right, I have now deboned the chicken and added the meat to the pot. I've got a lot of really good stock here, so I'm going to try to dump that back into the pot. I don't want that to go to waste. Try not to get the bones back in the pot either. Oh, failed at that, so I'll have to fish that one back out. But yeah, now we've got our soup is ready to continue cooking. This dish takes about, I'd say about an hour overall. Damn it, where'd that bone go? Well, I got to fish that bone out of here. And but the dish takes about an hour overall to cook from start to finish. Once the vegetables are mostly done, you'll add the noodles at the last 5 to 10 minutes of the soup cooking, and then it's done.
And now for the last ingredient to go into the pot. We've got a nice rolling boil here. We're going to go ahead and pop the lid off. I'm going to turn the heat down to a simmer, a little above low there. And time to add our noodles. There we go. All right, that's all of our noodles. You want to stir this up and then let it simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes so that the noodles get done. Stir those in. We're going to re-add our lid. And it won't be long now, and we will be having a chicken noodle soup. Yeah. I like chicken noodle soup. What do you like about chicken noodle soup? What does it remind you of? What happened to the wolf? This concludes episode 6 of Damaron's Kitchen, and I thought this might be a nice nostalgia moment to remember me for who I used to be. So here we have our chicken noodle soup. It's all done. And we're going to enjoy this soup now, and I hope that you all enjoyed my video. And thank you again for joining me in Damaron's kitchen. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I love you all. Bye-bye.